What is good, everybody, man? Welcome back into the Blue Bloods as we continue our FCS player spotlight for the 2023 season, man. We are joined by my guy, Ely Doyle, new Tarleton State defensive back, former Eastern Washington defensive back who led Eastern Washington in tackles last year, already throughout his collegiate career, over 160 total tackles, 3 tackles for loss, multiple interceptions, and had 4 games with 10 or more tackles this past season, man. Eli, how you doing, man?
Yes, sir. I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. I'm definitely glad to have you on the show, man. I know it's
Yes,
been
sir.
a long journey for you, man, and you're getting ready to suit up for Tarleton State this year, man. But I want to go back because I was going back. It's been a while since you've been in high school, man. So we're going to go all the way back to the class of 2018 when you were coming out of California, a 3-star prospect committed to Arizona State. What was it about Arizona State that separated from other schools in your recruitment? And just looking back now with some hindsight, what was your overall recruiting process like out of high school?
Yeah, so coming out of high school, freshman year, um, started my first year, freshman year varsity. I went to Valencia High School, year, played defensive back, played safety. And I was at Valencia High School for actually 2 years, my freshman and sophomore year. And I actually started getting my offers. My first offer was Utah, the University of Utah, my sophomore year. And I played both sides of the ball there. And then after my sophomore year, I transferred to Alamany High School. And then, I went to a lot of camps, a lot of football camps, was getting offers from camps and stuff. And then out the recruiting process, I just decided to take my one official visit to Arizona State, and that was my first one. And everybody went in my family, my two brothers and both my parents, and we went down there for the weekend. And it was a great visit overall throughout the whole weekend. It felt like home right when I landed there, and it wasn't too far from home, so it was just a thing to where like it was my first visit, yeah, and I felt right in love, and all the coaches were brought me in like it was family, and it was just to the point to where like it was just the right fit for me at that moment. And so I was still committed. I was committed my junior year and still committed throughout my senior year. And then took my chances and went there. And the coaches that recruited me got fired my first year at Arizona State, and so that kind of shook a little things up. And Herm Edwards became the new coach there, his staff. And then after that, I stood throughout the process, played spring ball there, and then I did great in spring ball. I was one of the most impacted players in spring ball on defense. They switched my position to linebacker, and then it was just a thing I didn't want to. That's not my position. Didn't want to play linebacker, and so I entered the portal, and then I got my chance to play Eastern Washington. Um, and, I'm thankful for that, because without that, I wouldn't be in my position right now. So got my chances to play Eastern, started, for three years, and was grateful for that. Been making plays and helping the defense win.
When that was actually, I was gonna get to the position change, man, because you come in as a defensive back, you were playing a lot of safety, and ultimately tried to move you to linebacker. And when I'm looking at your film now, I mean, listen, there's not a lot of safeties that are getting almost 100 tackles in a season right now, and a lot of guys are scared to come up and really hit. For you, did that move to linebacker it for you develop the ability to come down into the box and make plays like you see now on your film from your last season at Eastern Washington?
Oh yeah, for definitely like a linebacker. Your first thing in your mind is you got to be able to hit. Your first step is downhill. So in my eyes, I'm not afraid to hit. What I'm saying, I always been that way since been playing football ever since high school. And so that's just in me. What I'm saying, I always been you know like I'm ready to hit, and so like I always been that type of guy to be aggressive at the point of attack.
You transferred to Eastern Washington. You see a lot of snaps your first 2 seasons, but this past year you start all 11 games. This was your first season starting the whole season. You
Right.
lead the team with 84 tackles. You have 4 plus games of 10 plus tackles and against the best competition you faced all season long as well. What clicked this year for you?
This year, just really clicked for me. Just going past my last years, it's my last year coming up, but last year just being, experienced in the backfield and just what helped me just putting more effort into the playbook and really studying and really taking the time out to, study the offense and learning pre-snap progression and, reading stuff before it happens. So the playbook really helped me and just, being really locked into the game, first quarter throughout the fourth, whether, if you're up or down, you gotta play through the whistle. But, just that mindset of, attacking the game with the right perspective and, going into the game with the right perspective and, leading your team in the right way.
I think it really, I know it surprised me to see you enter the transfer portal as a graduate transfer after the season. What played into your decision to look for another place with 1 year of eligibility remaining this past off season?
Oh yeah, well, I've been at Eastern, for 3.5 years, 4 years, and so, I just wanted to find a new opportunity for my last year, to expand my resources, you know what I'm saying, and to get in a better opportunity and better shoes to, make it to the next level. Eastern's a great program, and and Tarleton State, they're a great program too, but when I visited, they have a lot more, resources and things that, will help me get to the next level and such things like that.
How different, I guess, was your mindset from that high school recruiting process to this one? Were you looking for like, was your checklist different? Was your visits any different? Just kind of compare and contrast your high school recruitment to what you just went through this past all season as a graduate transfer.
Yeah, it's very different. High school, selecting the college recruitment is different than now because in high school, I'm looking to where like I was more picky, you know what I'm saying, as far as, my choices because like I said, Arizona was close to home and it was easy to make a decision, to Arizona State because, in that aspect, but and going out of high school, you got way more options, I had way more. I had 19, 18 offers and so and now, I'm in the portal, and so it's, the portal is hit and miss. Like you can talk to a lot of coaches. You know what I'm saying, for a couple weeks, and then it just could go dry for months. And so like it's very different. And I'll say now like just getting Tarleton State the right school in the portal being now, you just got to find the right school that's best fit, and you go to the right school that the coaches that really love you because you can't. You got to pick the right fit for you. It's your future.
I think when I look at Tarleton State staff, I think they tweeted out a graphic this offseason not too long ago about the draft picks between the two coordinators, and if you wanted to include the players that head coach Todd Witten has coached, it's probably even more than that because he's been ahead of that program throughout the whole time. When you look at defensive coordinator Tyrone Nix and some of the other assistants, how big of a, I guess, role did they play in your recruitment and decision to transfer to Tarleton State?
Oh yeah, they played a big role. I was communicating with Coach Nix, throughout the recruitment process when I was in the portal. Um, and he contacted me and told me how much he loved my film and how much he wants to help me get to the next level. And he believes that he could coach me in the right way and help me succeed. And so I took my chances and I said took that visit and they brought me in like family, and so it was a great visit. Got about we built a great relationship, on the visit, and he also made the time. Him and Coach Witten came down to my parents' house in California, and visited them, and I was even there. They just did that, you know, and so they went down and took a visit to them and got to know my parents and stuff, and so that was great, and that really opened my eyes and to tell me how much they really care about me and stuff like that.
When you look, I know they just have recently had a defensive back sign a contract, if I'm not mistaken, Donovan Banks, who played a similar role at times that you will probably will for that defense. Have you? were there any former players, any current players on the roster that you've reached out to just to talk to them about their experience at Tarleton State?
Oh yeah, for sure. I talked to Patrick Jones. He's one of the safety theirs. He's one of the safeties there, and I did speak with Donovan Banks. You know, over the phone. Yeah, he was just telling me, he had a great experience at Tarleton State. It's a great place. It's a great place to, stay focused and, you know, do your things and stay on top of your priorities like football and school. That's the main thing. And so, he was just telling me it's gonna be a great place for you, and the people there are great, so you're gonna get a good experience out of it.
When I look at just your career, you're leaving Eastern Washington. You were the guy. You were probably the top leader on that defense, especially in the secondary. Coming to Tarleton State now, you weren't able to make it down to spring practice. I know you're finishing up classes now, so you'll be down there this summer. How do you plan to approach establishing yourself as a leader in that secondary with such little time before the season starts?
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna come in with the same mindset like I did this past season, but I'm gonna tweak a little bit more stuff, and there's always room for improvement. So I got 1 year left, so I can't waste it. I got to put all my chips on the table, and do what's best for me. I'm gonna go in there and just be a leader right off the bat, and show the others that I'm very well experienced, and can lead them in the right way, and make an impact on the defense right away when I get there.
You've achieved a lot, man. I mean, you've played collegiate football now for multiple seasons. When you look at your 2023 goals for your final season, man, what do those consist of?
My goals for this season coming up, man, is just leaving it all on the grass. I got 1 year left. Leave it all on the grass, and my goals is to be the top tacklers on the defense, be one of lead the conference in tackles and picks, and just and be a leader overall for my team. Because I want to make a statement and leave a statement, and you know leave a legacy behind me. At Tarleton, even though I got 1 year left, but just to make a name for myself.
So, man, shifting toward the end of the interview, man. So, quick hitters, man, for all the Tarleton State fans to get to know you a little bit better. Your NFL comps are huge. Fans love them, players love them. When you look at your game, is there an NFL player that you feel like you model your game after the most?
Oh yeah, Cam Chancellor, he was one of them. You know what I'm saying? He was very, one of my role models. You know what I'm saying, when he was in the NFL for sure. And Derrick James, he's one of my role models, and that I compare my game to for sure. And those guys are very, they're great. They're great tacklers. They're very versatile. Can play man, and can play zone very good, and can read the quarterback and react. What I'm saying, on plays, and very, they always got big hits. There's Cam Chancellor. His hits are huge and make a great impact on the defense, and brings the energy. So for sure.
Chancellor is a legend, and I'm biased, man. I remember when Derwin was coming out of Florida State, man. He was like my favorite player in that draft. I was like, man, I someone needs to get him, and I think
Oh
if
yeah.
he can stay fully healthy, man, he's going to be an issue for everybody. Yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
that's the biggest thing. But man, looking back at your career, this could be at Arizona State, EWU. What was your welcome to college moment?
My welcome to college moment was I'll say when I was at Arizona State, it was kickoff. I was on kickoff, and then I ran down the field. Great environment. Michigan State. Rowdy fans. There was a first kickoff. Ran down the kickoff, and I got hooked onto a block, and then this guy, he blocked me all the way into the sideline. I got pushed over, and so
Mm.
that was just like, yeah, this is college football for sure.
Yeah, man, getting taken to the sideline, I definitely meant because especially if it's the opponent's sideline, then you got
Oh
to deal
yeah,
with all his teammates and
yeah.
everything. Like that's like the
Mhm.
worst case situation, man. But I'll be honest, DBs get a horrible rap on the show, man. With this next question, but how much trash do you talk in between those white lines on game day?
Oh yeah, when I get into them white lines, it's just whatever comes out my mouth, it's just comes out my mouth. It's just all energy, and all, it's just adrenaline. And so when I'm on the field, I get my players rowdy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna talk my stuff in between lines, but it's just all competitiveness. No, nothing, dirty or anything. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's all competitive. After the game, we're gonna shake it up.
Looking back at your career, man, or you can look back just to this season, who was the biggest trash talker back to you during a game where you guys just all game had it going back and forth?
I'll say North Dakota State. I played North Dakota State. We played there. It was a playoff game, I think, in the spring when COVID happened, and it was a rowdy game. I guess I had a late hit. I drove a guy to the sideline, and the everybody, the whole North Dakota State people, all the players, they came to me and tried to, ride around me and stuff, and I just ran off, and I got a flag, and they kicked me out of for a play because it got me called me on the flag. But that game right there, it was a lot of going back and forth, trash talking. It was that game right there was really really one for my run.
I know everyone, with the NBA playoffs going on right now, everyone says there's a difference between playoff basketball and regular season. It's like
Oh
that in the
yeah.
FCS too. That intensity gets ratcheted up a whole nother notch, man, in that. But I know, spend most of your time at safety. So looking at your game, one on one in the open field, man, what's the number one mistake a running back can make against you when it's you and him in the open field?
Shoot, just stopping his feet, because I'm gonna run right through him. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I'm running forward, he's running towards me, and so once he stops his feet, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna just keep running my feet and run through his hips or keep my eye on his hip and run through him. So the best for the running back to do, you know what I'm saying, is just to keep running his feet and don't stop. What I'm saying, on contact, because I'm gonna bring my shoulder pads with me and take him down. So
I've seen the
so.
film. I can only imagine, the mistake that could be, man. But looking back at your career, man, to give some credit, who were some of the best offensive players you've ever had to face one on one?
Uh, I'll say I forgot his name, but he was a receiver from Montana State. He's on the Rams now. Um,
Lance.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Lance, he
Yeah,
was he was really good. Um, I'll say I think his name is Luke Keepy from North Dakota State, the fullback, number 44.
yeah, Hunter. Yeah,
Yeah,
Hunter
yeah,
Lipke.
yeah. I mean, yeah, Hunter, yeah, him. He's very good. Uh, I'll say Anthony Richardson from Florida. Yeah, he's very good. The running back too, Etienne, the running back. There was a lot of guys on Oregon, a lot of skilled guys on Oregon that was very good. So, but I say throughout my career at Eastern, probably the Oregon and Florida was the most skilled and the most athletic players I've seen versing. Just up to my speed.
Yeah, those FBS games are something different, man. In the 2 years you guys got those teams, that they were really kind of they were rolling at times, especially with Anthony Richardson. Now, I think he was the fourth pick in the draft this past year, so I could only imagine, man. So I got to ask because, I it's just I'm so interested to see the dynamic in practice, man. Because at Eastern Washington, you guys had such an electric offense, especially when Eric was there, man, and all that, and all the wide receivers you guys have had come through there. How competitive was practice, man, at Eastern Washington between the offense and defense day in and day out?
Oh yeah, it was very competitive. There was again trash talking going back and forth between the defense and offense. Some days the defense will kill the offense. You know what I'm saying, and offense will have a bad day, and then the next day, the defense will have a bad day, and offense is on us. But that's what makes teams better. Just offense and defense going at it, and trash talking, and that was all coming in summer camp. Right before season, so that's the best time where both sides of the ball making plays and getting each other better.
And then the final few questions, man. A quick one. Are you gonna miss playing on the red turf, man? Because I still feel like that's got to be so cool, especially when you guys wear the all red. I feel like
Oh
that's just
yeah,
that's got to look
yeah,
good.
yeah. The red turf, is something special. Like that's the first colorful field I ever played on. Um, Besides Chaminade back in high school, but other than that, college wise, Eastern Washington, yes, it's the red field is bright. When you're an opponent team, it's gonna get you at first. It's like really bright, so it's kind of an advantage for us.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, because I still think, like, the way Eastern has their uniforms and with that field, it always
Right,
looks clean, no matter what
right.
uniforms. Because like, they got the all black and then the all red. It all looks great, man. So, the final 2 questions have to do with the NFL draft, man. First off, if an NFL franchise asks you what they're going to get in Eli Doyle if they select you in the upcoming NFL draft, man, what do you tell them?
They're gonna get a well, intelligent, hardworking man. That's willing to get through adversity, whether or not it's going good or bad. I'm gonna keep my head on my shoulders and stay poised. You know what I'm saying? I know what hard work is. I've been through a lot of stuff throughout my life, and how to, you're gonna get one that's willing to work. Come in and whatever I'll play whatever role, and I'm gonna play out my hardest.
And then the final question, man, what would it mean to you to be, I guess, the next FCS player to hear their name selected in the NFL draft? And what would it mean for you and your family, man, to hear your name called in the upcoming NFL draft?
Oh man, it'll mean the world to me, man, because I know when if that moment happens, I'm gonna just the first thing is just all the hard work I've been through, all the times to where, I felt down on myself and, didn't think I was gonna make it out, but it's gonna be a blessing, man, and it's just I'm gonna keep working until that time comes and it's gonna be a blessing. It's gonna be a really happy moment for me and my family.
Man, I love to hear it, man. Eli, I appreciate you so much, man, for hopping on the show. I know big things are coming at Tarleton State after the season you just had last year at Easter, man. But this is all about player promotion here. Let people know where they can find you on social media, contact you for NILs, and any messages, anything you want to say to the people, man. This time is yours.
Yes, sir. You guys can follow me on my Twitter at, capital Eli Tovin. That's my Twitter handle at Instagram, Eli.Doyle. And, just you could just reach out to me, hit me up if you guys are, asking me any questions or are interested in, whatever you guys want to ask. But, that's me.
Man, I love it. Simple to the point. Guys, make sure to go follow Eli on all social media. Stay tuned for a huge season down there at Tarleton State. And guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel, man. Check out all the interviews we got coming this off season. FCS All American, All Conference coming very, very soon. But guys, for Eli, for myself, and for the Blue Bloods, we are out for right now.